Mesdames, Messieurs, bonjour et bienvenue à la revue des grandes unes. C'est la dernière édition de la semaine. Nous sommes le vendredi 28 mars 2025 et nous sommes toujours en direct de nos studios de Douala. Découvrons d'abord les principales manchettes proposées par les journaux ce matin. La nouvelle expression qui s'intéresse à ce harcèlement de Aben Zonga. Vive protestation de Maurice Kamto, titre le journal à sa grande une. Il conclut dans sa sortie que le MRC met solennellement en garde le pouvoir contre les dérives dictatoriales qui se manifestent à travers la multiplication des arrestations, inculpations et détentions politiques des responsables politiques, des membres de la société civile et des Camerounais ordinaires qui dévoilent les éléments de la fraude électorale en préparation par Elecam, le RDPC et ses ramifications dans diverses administrations du pays, y compris, faut-il craindre, le Conseil constitutionnel dont les incompétences juridiques alléguées sont aujourd'hui des éléments d'une suspicion légitime, écrit le professeur Maurice Kamto. L'intégralité du communiqué est à lire en page 4 du journal. On reparle de ces nominations au sein du RDPC en page 3 de la nouvelle expression. Léon Teller-Onana, le conseil municipal du RDPC de la commune de Monatélé qui vient d'assigner son parti en justice, estime que les nominations faites hier au comité central est une fuite en avant. Vous lirez les détails en page 3 du journal. La nouvelle expression. Sur le même sujet, le messager titre ce matin « Nomination au RDPC, Gongo en sursis » s'interroge le messager à sa grande une. Absent tant au niveau départemental que régional, encore moins au comité central en tant que membre titulaire, le ministre d'État SGPR qu'on a vu récemment battre campagne pour Paul Biya dans plusieurs régions du pays attend désespérément un siège au sein du bureau politique. Analyse à lire dans le journal Le Messager. Mutation de ce matin, titre également sur le RDPC, Paul Biya, l'empereur, alors que les militants attendent un congrès depuis 2011 pour débattre de la vie du parti, prendre position sur les questions d'actualité et renouveler ses instances dirigeantes, le président national a procédé hier à des nominations faisant des heureux et des déçus. Vous aurez des précisions dans le journal Mutation de ce matin. Cameroun Tribune, pour sa part, titre RDPC, Paul Biya redistribue les cartes des décisions du président national signées le 25 et 26 mars et rendues publiques hier par le secrétaire général du comité central, nomme de nouveaux membres titulaires au comité central ainsi que certains chefs de délégation permanentes, régionales et départementales. Lis l'intégralité des textes dans Cameroun Tribune de ce matin. Toujours sur le RDPC et ses nominations signées par le président, le Forum Libre titre Mokhtar Hamadama, désigné membre titulaire du comité central du RDPC, originaire du département du Mbéré dans la région de la Damawa. Cet homme d'affaires est par ailleurs vice-président de la Chambre de commerce, d'industrie des mines et de l'artisanat du Cameroun, vient de bénéficier de la confiance du président national du RDPC, Paul Biya, philanthrope reconnu. C'est un financier historique du Parti des Flammes qui est au cœur de multiples actions sociales en faveur des populations du département du Mbéré. On peut citer la construction des maternités, l'organisation des campagnes de santé gratuites, des dons de matériel didactique aux élèves, étudiants et aux établissements scolaires, la formation et le soutien des jeunes dans plusieurs secteurs d'activité entrepreneuriale, la construction des forages d'eau potable et l'assistance permanente des personnes en difficulté. À travers cette nomination au comité central du RDPC, datant du 25 mars dernier, le président national du RDPC reconnaît le leadership politique de Mokhtar Hamadama et sait qu'il sera un pilier important pour mobiliser les troupes en vue de sa réélection lors de la présidentielle d'octobre 2025. D'autres détails dans le Forum Libre de ce matin. À la une du journal Instant Réel, on s'intéresse à la célébration du 40e anniversaire du RDPC. Le RDPC se porte bien à Bafoussam grâce au sénateur Sylvestre Gouchingué, nous dit le journal Instant Réel. C'est du moins ce qu'il faut retenir de la célébration du 40e anniversaire de ce parti le 24 mars dans la section de Mifi-Centre en présence des autorités administratives et sous la présidence du chef de la délégation permanente départementale du comité central du RDPC, le sénateur Sylvestre Gouchingué, en une du journal Instant Réel. À la une du quotidien Le Jour, VIH-Sida, comment la stigmatisation freine la prise en charge des jeunes, titre le quotidien Le Jour. Des jeunes de 15 à 24 ans vivent avec le VIH-Sida et font face à des maladresses qui les poussent parfois à abandonner leur traitement. Selon les dernières statistiques, la prévalence du VIH-Sida est en hausse chez cette tranche d'âge. Vous aurez des détails dans le quotidien Le Jour de ce jour. L'économie qui est en kiosque ce vendredi s'intéresse à la dette du Cameroun. Le Cameroun privilégie les remboursements extérieurs en 2024. Au cours de la même période, le pays n'a pas atteint ses objectifs pour ce qui est du paiement de la dette intérieure. Développement dans les colonnes du journal L'économie. À la une de l'heure du Sahel de ce matin, Mayo Tchanaga, l'armée neutralise 3 terroristes de Boko Haram à Magouzam, nous dit le journal L'œil du Sahel. Les éléments de Boko Haram, entrés en embuscade dans plusieurs quartiers, essayent de s'emparer des biens des habitants. Ils ont été cueillis par les forces de défense et de sécurité. Voilà donc pour cette actualité traitée par L'œil du Sahel de ce matin. Allez, c'est tout pour cette première partie consacrée au kiosque. On va accueillir nos invités pour en parler. Il est déjà dans ce studio avec nous. Formi Armstrong Sanda de la rédaction Équinoxe TV Radio. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Ashikamga. I'm glad to be with you this morning.
On va donc démarrer tout de suite peut-être par la fin, avec la une de l'heure du Sahel. On a vu qu'il y a des terroristes qui ont été neutralisés donc, du côté de Magoumas, dans le Mayo Tchanaga, justement. Et c'est un acte également qu'on tenait à saluer, vu le contexte avec nos forces de défense qui ont péri il y a quelques jours.
Exactly.
Ils n'ont pas baissé les bras.
Exactly. That will boost the morals of the soldiers. I think we've had a wave of reactions coming in after the unfortunate attack in Wulgo that led to the death of about 12 Cameroonian soldiers, and that in some ways affected the morale of Cameroonian soldiers, but also Cameroonians, and it gave the impression that Boko Haram was coming back in full force. You know,
tout à fait, on avait l'impression que Boko Haram était derrière nous, on l'avait éradiqué, mais ils reviennent en force.
Exactly, and we got some reports that even though further reports indicated that the guys disguised and passed through a very commercial hub in Nigeria, the commercial town in Nigeria of Gemburu, then finally got to the Wulgo area where our soldiers were attacked. But I had some reports indicating that they also made use of drones. And so at this point, Cameroonians and those who are specialized in analyzing the evolution of war and conflict were expressing concerns, serious concerns, that if Boko Haram got to the level of using drones and also coming to have launched this kind of attacks at a time when we thought that it was all gone for Boko Haram, was dead and buried, then it was disturbing. Now, with soldiers getting back to Boko Haram, I want to say that it's a retaliation, and neutralizing this Boko Haram will also not only encourage Cameroonians, not only encourage other soldiers who might be deployed into this region, but will also play a role on Boko Haram itself to know that the country is ready and of course is capable of containing Boko Haram, at least within the areas where it is still breeding right now. You know, Boko Haram, since it lost its Sambisa base in Nigeria to another terrorist group, Boko Haram has been to an extent not only existing, but to an extent specialized in sporadic attacks. You get the kind of attacks where we had in the early days of Boko Haram, where they will come with machine guns and launch a full-fledged attack. It wasn't there. So Boko Haram now was in a kind of hit and run, be it in Nigeria or in Cameroon. They will attack and go, they will attack and go. But within the Volgo area, that's where they've been, and most of the attacks were recorded, but it's not been recurrent. So I think it's a good thing. I can only say that the soldiers should hold on strong, because terrorism, especially with groups like Boko Haram, is not something any country will wish for. We know that at one point in time they announced links with the Islamic State and all that, so it's an international kind of thing. This was echoed in the communique from the U.S. Embassy in Cameroon, saying that it stands with Cameroon to fight terrorism. The French embassy in Yaoundé also said that Cameroon, which is an important international partner in the fight against terrorism, cannot be abandoned at this moment. They will continue to support Cameroon in the ways they can support to be able to combat this.
L'armée camerounaise qui reste donc debout malgré ces hommes qu'on a perdus il y a quelques jours. Donc voilà, des terroristes qui ont été neutralisés. Et vous faisiez justement allusion au fait que Boko Haram, c'est quand même un set international, parce qu'il n'y a pas que le Cameroun, le Nigeria justement.
Yes.
Et ces soldats ont été tués à Wurgo, ville frontalière avec Mokolo, dans le logo
they were soldiers of, yes, they were soldiers of the multinational joint task force, even though they were from the Cameroonian contingent. They were soldiers of the multinational joint task force. Actually, baby, just before you leave this, I had, you know, there were a lot of reactions. We had a reaction from Honorable Cabral Libi. I had that of Samuel Ito. We had that of Barrister Batone Akeremuna, presidential hopeful, who was angry that and such an attack will happen on Cameroonian soldiers, and you come on the main media organs. Some media organs concentrate their times or consecrate a greater portion of their airtime on events like the anniversary of the CPDM and all that, without talking about what the soldiers lost. But I got interested too in the reaction of Professor Maurice Kamto of the CRM party. He said that these attacks, sad as it is, and also preoccupying, but it also, to him, it's an opportunity for the authorities that be to be able to see how they can rejuvenate the high command of the Cameroonian army. What he meant here in real sense is that there is need for younger generals to be appointed, for younger people in the army to be given positions and posts of responsibility. You know, when you are aging, your capacities begin dropping. So it's important for younger people to be appointed, and probably as general commanders, so that they can effectively bring the tactics.
Pour avoir des idées neuves, qui peuvent encore la force physique, pour pouvoir se déployer. Et peut-être pour terminer aussi cette formule qui a marché il y a quelques années avec la collaboration des populations de ce côté-là. Il faut aussi rappeler que ces populations jouent un grand rôle important dans la lutte contre Boko Haram.
Yes, but the unfortunate part of it is that actually we've had reports with, I want to use this opportunity to say courage to Amadou Dairo, who is in the Far North region with his team in the Logona and Shari, Mayo Chanaga, Mayo Sava, and everywhere, even in the Diamari division. But the unfortunate thing is that when the population actually collaborated, you know, they came in to join to fight, forming what they call village vigilante groups. But at one point in time, some of these people openly expressed their frustrations by saying that they were abandoned. Some of them said that they were abandoned first because they were not given equipment. Some they were not being trained because
parce qu'en face quand même l'ennemi a l'artillerie lourde.
Exactly, you know. Some of them were not given equipment, they were not given materials, and they were helpless. You know, a Boko Haram will come maybe to attack a village. They don't have even the possibility of communicating to the soldiers to say that, okay, this is what in the village, or trying to contain Boko Haram before the intervention of the state forces. You know, it was challenging. They needed things like bikes, motorbikes. They needed mobile telephones with credit always available, as airtime always available, so they can be able to call, and also when needs be, they can run to tell soldiers at the bases that, okay, these guys have come to this village, they're doing this and that. There was also need for them to be trained. I think it's important that the government puts emphasis on not only getting the villagers involved, but equipping them as much as they can, so that they can be able to be effective in this fight against terrorism.
Merci à Informian Fonsanda pour votre brillante analyse sur ce sujet proposé par, enfin du moins cette information est proposée par l'œil du Sahel ce matin. On est resté dans le jargon technique parce que l'œil du Sahel titre l'armée neutralise 3 terroristes. On sait ce que ça veut dire, neutraliser. Donc justement ils ont été éliminés ces terroristes-là, et on salue cet acte de bravoure de nos soldats. Allez, on va parler d'un autre sujet. Vous avez évoqué le nom de Maurice Kamto tout à l'heure. On va en parler donc justement avec la une de la nouvelle expression, c'est sur le harcèlement de Aben Zonga. C'est le conseil spécial du professeur Maurice Kamto, leader du MRC, et donc justement Aben Zonga qui a été convoqué par les autorités administratives de la ville et les autorités également sécuritaires, et justement on trouve que c'est une autre sorte de musellement de cet acteur de l'opposition. Formé son sandat, c'est une vive protestation du professeur Maurice Kamto. Vous avez parcouru également le communiqué du professeur.
Yes, in his release, the professor says it is intimidation. The professor says it is a tool used by the regime, and he calls that a manifestation of the characteristics of a dictator, definition of the role of each of the actors in the electoral process. So to him, the statements of Aben Zonga in his outing had nothing that could threaten the peace and tranquility of the nation Cameroon. So being called up for questioning by authorities to Maurice Kamto was some sort of intimidation and trying to silence voices at a crucial time when we are heading to one of the very important aspects of democracy, that is voting to choose who leads Cameroon in the next 7 years. As you indicated there, Aben Zonga was called up by the senior divisional officer for the Vuri division.
Le préfet du département du Vuri.
Yes, he was called by the SGO for the Vuri. Then when he got there, according to an interview he granted to Babla Jonathan on Équinoxe television, he respected the call from the #1 administrator of the Vuri division. And so when he got there, surprisingly, according to him, he was told that he's being called up for questioning. He was like, I didn't know that I was going to be interrogated. So if I'm going to be questioned on whatever, let my lawyer be along with me. You know, he left, and the situation has been like that. And he was also called by a security unit for questioning. Now, Maurice Kamto is saying that in all, it is intimidation. It is a way to silence dissent at a time when Cameroonians are expected to be given that state of mind, or to be allowed to have a free state of mind, so that they can be able to choose effectively, to be able to choose properly on as far as elections is concerned, but also choosing properly as far as the management of state affairs are concerned. So Maurice Kamto thinks that attack on that call for questioning of Aben Zonga is some sort of intimidation.
Est-ce qu'on peut donner raison justement au professeur Maurice Kamto dans sa sortie, parce que c'est pas le premier cas. Il y a eu lui-même qui était concerné, le professeur Maurice Kamto. Avant, il y a Parfum Voum, président du fort. Il y a eu la société civile, Maître Alice Com, Maximilien Gombe. Il y a même eu des avocats, etc. Comment est-ce que vous comprenez justement ces ajustements-là de la part du régime?
Yes, you know, when you want to analyze this further, if you want to analyze this further to see if there is reason in it, or you'll be able to, you should even be able to go beyond the reaction of Professor Maurice Kamto, because whoever listens to the reaction of Professor Maurice Kamto, or gets to know that Professor Maurice Kamto reacted to it, would be like, no, he is reacting because Aben Zonga is a special advisor, or he is a militant of the CRM party. But going further out of the CRM party, you will get the reaction of somebody like Barrister Tamfo Richard, who is not of the CRM party, who is also a respectable voice as far as the defense of human rights in Cameroon is concerned. You will get the voice of somebody like Barrister Ewule Lyonga, based in Biya, who is also a renowned human rights advocate in Cameroon and a legal mind. You know, these people were questioned within this same context. Babla Jonathan spoke with Barrister Tamfo Richard, and Immaculate Folk we had Barrister Ewule Lyonga in his talking point. You know, all of these people had the same point of view vis-a-vis this court for questioning and stuff. You know, they were like, it should not happen in a country where we say it's a democracy. It should not happen in a context where Cameroon is preparing to get to one of its major responsibilities as far as democracy is concerned. So these rights groups were like, okay, to an extent, some of these calls are actually not necessary, because he, like Aben Zonga, like many other Cameroonians, said what he thinks. You know, he didn't say pick up arms and go to the street and stuff. He said that, okay, the way things are going, if they are not properly managed, we risk getting to this level. So these legal minds, as I indicated, and respectable voices as far as the respect of human rights in Cameroon is concerned, had that opinion. I would be tempted to say that, okay, it's all correct to think that these people are, I'm tempted to confirm that he was not actually supposed to be called off for questioning. He simply expressed his opinion, considering the reactions some people who are versed with the issue.
D'accord. Et justement, on va terminer sur ce sujet en citant justement le professeur Maurice Kamto, c'est la nouvelle expression qu'il cite dans son chapeau. Il dit qu'il conclut sa sortie, donc Maurice Kamto, le MRC met solennellement en garde le pouvoir contre les dérives dictatoriales qui se manifestent à travers la multiplication des arrestations, etc. Qu'est-ce que ça veut vouloir dire quand il dit qu'il met en garde le pouvoir en place. Ça peut s'interpréter de manière un peu bizarre.
Yeah, you know, it's a strong voice, but in any case, it depends on where you stand. But these are just words. You get. You can, as a political party leader and a party of the ranks and value of the CRM party, the leader is well placed to say this. Of course, we are warning the regime in place. We are also warning actors of the electoral process in Cameroon to guard against any form of manipulation or any forms of fraud and any intention of even trying to rig election or to make things to go out of the normal way. You know, it's a strong voice. It's a strong voice from a leader. I think I did not expect him to say less than that.
Merci donc Fombien Sanda pour ce décryptage du sujet proposé par la nouvelle expression. Restons en politique. Vous savez donc depuis hier que le président de la République a donc renouvelé les membres du comité central et du bureau politique de son parti. La presse en parle abondamment ce matin. On va voir avec la une de Cameroun Tribune, par exemple, qui dit que Paul Biya redistribue les cartes pour le journal Mutation. On parle de Paul Biya l'empereur ou encore le messager qui parle de Ferdinand Gongo en sursis. On va commencer d'abord justement par cette une-là proposée par Cameroun Tribune pour bien redistribuer les cartes. Fabien Sanda, on situe un peu le contexte. On sait qu'on attend le congrès du RDPC depuis 2011. Et il y a fait sortir par exemple du conseil de Mona Télé, Léon Télé, qui demandait à ce que ce congrès soit convoqué. Et justement dans la foulée, on voit le président nommé. Est-ce que ça suffit? Parce que ce congrès, effectivement, qu'on attendait.
The person clamoring for the holding of the CPDM Party Congress himself, Leon Taylor, who is a CPDM elected councillor of the Mona Télé Council, reacted shortly after that, and he said it wasn't enough. So
il dit d'ailleurs que c'est pas le président qui est derrière cette nomination.
Exactly. He pushes. He raises a lot of questions on this. He doubts if it's a president of the CPDM party who signed this. So to him, the person or the actor behind the signature behind it is to be questioned. And secondly, in that same write-up, he said that even if it were to be the president of the party who signed it, that is not enough. But this appointment, in the clear understanding of the text and everything, should not replace the Congress. But I think this appointment, from an observer point of view, has got its place, considering that the president of the party has the right to appoint new members within the party. But now, when I followed a program like Équinoxe yesterday, I got the developments from legal minds like barrister of the SDF party. I forgot his name, but he said, that the mandate of the president himself and several other people, maybe the members of the Politburo of the CPDM party or the Central Committee, the mandate that was given in 2011 had expired, meaning that they did not have the powers again or the right to appoint new members. But that said and done, the president could still appoint members like that, but without cancelling the necessity of holding a Congress. You get. Now, going to the Congress does not automatically mean that these members will no longer be members of the Central Committee if the CPDM were to organize a Congress today. Or going to the president will not mean that there cannot be other people to be voted into the party. The concern raised by Leon Taylor Onana, I think it's right. It's right in the sense that we know texts are meant to be respected. You get. Texts are meant to be respected. Now, if the text says after 5 years, you guys have got a mandate, after 5 years, let there be a Congress so new members can come into the party. He is in his place and he is saying so, rightly so. But I got another worry that he raised. He said that has not only projected the image of the party as somebody, as a group or an association that violates its text, its internal text, but it's also hindering the growth of the party, because he argued that young people have not had the opportunity to get into decision-making positions within the CPDM party. young people, I guess, like him and several other young supporters and sympathizers of the CPDM party, and that now has left the party with the same old people. Last night I was doing some research. I had to go read to see members of the political bureau of the CPDM party. Shockingly, I saw names of people who are no longer alive. A long list of several other people who are no longer alive. They are still members of the Politburo of the CPDM party, who unfortunately have not been replaced. Same with the central committee of the party. It's true that the decisions that we're talking about here got these members into the central committee, but I think much is still to be done within the structure of the CPDM party.
Est-ce que ce que vous expliquez là, vous êtes souvent d'accord avec la une du journal Mutation de ce matin qui parle de Paul Biya, l'empereur? Est-ce que ce sont les méthodes des empereurs, ce que le président fait? Parce que là où on attend, il n'est pas là, il fait plutôt autre chose.
I think that Mutation has a special way of always getting to pass across the message, but it's not new with this style management of Paul Biya in his capacity as president of the Republic of Cameroon. We've seen him in this style of management many times before, but now we're not getting confused between Paul Biya, the president of the CPDM party, and Paul Biya, president of the Republic of Cameroon. In any case, it is the same person. I've not seen him more like an emperor within the CPDM party. I think this would be my first experience of having him to act this way when some members of his party were calling him to act the other way or otherwise. Now, as the head of state, we've seen him on several occasions coming just from an unexpected angle and, of course, taking people by surprise in most of his decisions, outings and moves.
Et alors, on forme bien son standard président Gongo dans tout ça. Le SDPR, on l'a vu nulle part sur aucune liste. Il n'est pas au comité central, il n'est pas dans les commissions départementales ou régionales, etc. Pourquoi?
That's why I was saying that I started by outlining the fact that the appointment of auxiliary members or members or full-fledged members of the central committee does not in any way cancel the possibility of holding a congress. I'm not communicating for the CPDM, you get, but I'm saying that it's still possible. They have appointed other people. They can see it's still possible that there should be a congress of the party if the party is conscious of the necessity to respect its internal text, but also conscious of or sees reasons with the concerns raised by Leon Taylor, Onana Councillor Leon Taylor, Onana of Monachili. Now the party can still go ahead with the organization of the congress. Now that's to answer to answering that directly. I mean that. Maybe there's some surprise, prepared for him, because this is somebody we've seen so close with the president, who is at the center, the president of the CPDM party. Recently, we have seen him move around Cameroon with the effigies of the CPDM party, with his cap bearing the image of the president of the Republic and president of the party. So I think that maybe they are preparing something for him, the Politburo Central Committee, or maybe some positions within the party.
Merci Formian Sanda, thank you very much. Donc vous avez conduit cette émission pratiquement tout seul. Alors on va dire merci à ceux qui nous ont suivis à la maison ou alors dans les bureaux. Merci à nos équipes techniques en régie autour de Innocent Abega. Restez sur notre antenne juste après nous. C'est 10-12 le Zénith. Bon week-end.